This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal, and rock interviews and segments. Toasty.
Hello, hey, what's this? This is the first not audio only podcast. Wow, audio only podcast.
We should start again.
This is the first just discussion podcast, no music podcast that the Moshpit has done. This is, we'll think of a name. The cutting room floor.
Moshpit Backstage.
Moshpit Backstage, that's bullshit. This is the cutting room floor. Moshpit, C90.7, we are a community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia.
Australia.
And we are the designated punk/metal aficionados.
Yeah, dude. Everything from hardcore punk, hard rock, black metal, death metal, even porno grind.
Grind.
Yes, whatever you're into.
And today's topic, J-pop metal, in particular, Babymetal and their newest album, Metal Resistance. Me and Stefan will debate over it, whether we think it's good or not. Stick around, it'll be great.
Before we start with that, did you listen to their first album?
I haven't listened to their first album, no. Could you? So, you're obviously a Babymetal fan.
Huge.
You know their history. Give us a quick, brief rundown of their history, how they formed, who formed them, and the story behind their first album, and what you could say about the first album, so you can lead us into the discussion about Metal Resistance.
I believe, if I'm getting my facts correct, the band was formed about 4 years ago, when the three members, who are Sue Metal, who's the lead singer, then there's Moa Metal and Yui Metal, who are the backing vocalists / dancers, or screamers, as the band actually calls them.
Yeah, well, they're vocalists.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Scream and dance is what they're officially called. And so those two, Yui Metal and Moa Metal, were about 12 years old, and Sue Metal was 14. So now they're all 16 and 18 now. Yeah. So it's been about 4 years.
Yeah.
And
so they started when they were 12.
Yeah,
13.
12 to 14.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude.
Yikes.
So this has pretty much been with them for most of their teen years, go figure. And basically the producer got them together. He calls himself Babymetal.
Babymetal.
And he was a fan of J-pop and heavy metal, so he wanted to put the two together.
Wasn't Marty Friedman, former guitarist of Megadeth, responsible for something to do with this?
Yeah, he plays in a J-pop band.
He plays with another one.
Yeah, a J-pop band.
Something Panda, right?
I don't know what they're called.
Super Killing Panda, I don't know.
He says Marty Friedman said he got bored of metal, and he thinks the thing about J-pop is...
Yeah, I know. What documentary was that? Behind the Music?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, basically Megadeth one. You should go check it out, because it's basically the closest thing we're going to get to a tell-all documentary from Dave Mustaine.
Yeah,
not that he wouldn't tell all to anyone, but yeah, I think Marty Friedman said he got boring with
bored with
metal that was like gun metal grey. Like, he wanted to experiment with the rainbow of music, and he came up mixing J-pop with metal.
Here's the thing. Pop, in Western countries is basically 4 chords, right?
Pretty much.
J-pop is actually like over 100 chords. They try to utilize so many different chords.
I mean, it's just different. They're the different society.
Yeah. So that's why he's in Japan giving that a go.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not part of Babymetal. But yeah, Babymetal, as I said, he wanted to mix J-pop and heavy metal. So he got those three who didn't even know what metal was before the band started. Their first single was Doki Doki Morning from their self-titled album, same name.
These song titles, man, they make me piss myself.
Doki Doki Morning, in my opinion, is actually probably like their worst song. So
Give Me Chocolate's their worst song.
No, I love Give Me Chocolate. Really?
I don't like it, no.
That was their big break.
They went on the Stephen Colbert show, and when they could have played Karate, and they could have blown the house down, everyone could have gone, geez, what the hell is this? And they played Give Me Chocolate.
Because that was their
crap.
I liked it, though. That was their viral hit, so it made sense to play Give Me Chocolate, because that's their most famous song. But, yeah, they started releasing more singles. from their first album, and then like I guess their viral hit, pretty much when I discovered them, was the "Gimme Chocolate" song, which is their live video, and that started. They got featured on Fine Brothers, like YouTubers react to Babymetal.
Yeah,
And I remember when I first discovered it, I was like, I showed my friends, and I was like, "Oh, guys, look at this." Then I started looking at their albums, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is actually a really cool band. That sounds really cool."
Yeah.
Dude, and that's how I discovered them, basically. So that was like around 2014, and they only recently released their debut album. So when did you discover them? Was it Gimme Chocolate, Dean?
I actually didn't listen to Babymetal until Karate came out. I was aware of them. I heard them in glimpses and pop patches or whatever. But at the time, I'm just like, oh, this is a gimmick. I'm not going to deal with it. I kind of was an arrogant arsehole towards it at the time. So, yeah, I kind of ignored it until lately. But I thought Karate was a good song. But anyway, getting back on topic here, their first album. So for those of you who are listening who probably don't know about Babymetal's first album like I do, how would you describe it? First of all, what's it even called?
It's self-titled. It's Babymetal. And to me, it's easily a 5-star album. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
It is really, really good. Yes, dude. It created a bloody genre, man. Kawaii metal, J-pop metal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Dude, like it opens with.
Were bands mixing J-pop and metal before Babymetal came around?
Dude, it's possible, but I think part of the reasons that they're called Babymetal is not just because of the whole cute thing, but also because they wanted to be the first.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they wanted to be the first. That's another reason they're called Babymetal. And of course, their dreams has come true. I mean, they're the first major, not just J-metal whatever band. They're also like one of their performance on Stephen Colbert. I think they were the first Japanese band on that show.
That would be about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of us don't listen to many Japanese bands.
European 5-star album.
Yeah, dude. Some of the songs are really fun.
What are the sort of key 3, 4? How many tracks is it?
Oh, I think it's like 11 or 12,
11?
maybe.
So what are the key 3, 4 tracks on it? Just list them off like right now. You think?
Okay, obviously, Gimme Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Ine, Ijeme, Setai. It's Japanese. I can't remember what
Japanese.
it's called.
Just give it your best shot.
It's a power metal song at the end.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
And plus, I would say maybe Headbanger.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah, maybe you should get up on Wikipedia or something, Dean.
Yeah, that's what I will do now. So, Metal Resistance came out recently, and it's okay. I'll tell you what I think of it later. So, Stefan, since you're a big fan, is this a big step forward for them, or is it pretty much the same thing what they've done, just a little bit upgraded?
I would say it's the same. It's a bit more metal, less pop, so that's probably good for...
Apart from the ballad song Tales of Destinies? No?
No, No Rain, No Rainbow.
No Rain, No Rainbow.
Tales of the Destinies is essentially the Dream Theater ripoff.
That's right. It's the Dream Theater song. That's the second last song on the album.
Yeah, I was talking to Dean about something like, dude, the second last album is basically a Dream Theater ripoff album.
You messaged me. I'm Dean. I'm here. I'm sitting here, mate. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And anyway, Dean listens to it, and then he prays me and says, dude, so much Dream Theater. I'm like, dude, I know. So much Dream Theater.
And I think I messaged you back. I said, I'm having very bad flashbacks to the Dream Theater album earlier this year, which I thought was just crap. Anyway,
I couldn't get bothered to listen to that one personally.
Exactly. It was 34 songs, 2.5 hours. Yeah, can't be fun. So anyway, we'll kind of go down track by track. I thought Road to Resistance was an okay opener for the album.
Yeah, that single came out last year. So that one, Dean was saying, oh, there's so much Dragon Force influence. Well, part of the reason was that song. The two guitarists of Dragon Force did contribute to that song. I'm not sure about the other one that sounds like them, Amore. It's possible, but I don't know. But definitely Road to Resistance.
Yeah,
that was I think it's a really great song.
Yeah. So basically, I'll since we had you the Babymetal Love Fest, I'll give my critical review of it. I thought Road to Resistance was that was about a 7 or an 8 out of a 10 song. I think Karate is by far the best song on this album, or the best song they've ever done.
Yeah, it's
definitely
pretty great.
Metal-wise. I think it's just songs with the power metal background in it, which is probably most of them on here. I do not like. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I can't get into the power metal with J-pop. It's too much sappiness and over the top.
Yeah, Amore is definitely like that.
Amore, yeah.
Awadama Fever is a bit of
Awadama Fever, that's like electro metal though.
Yeah. And then you got Yaba, which is basically like a kind of a ska kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you remember. What's Syncopation? That's on the Japanese one.
What's the song that goes? It sounded like some American...
Oh, I think that's Metataro.
Metataro. Yeah, I couldn't.
You couldn't?
I couldn't. I nearly lost my shit.
Dude, Sis Anger...
Just imagine if the US Navy was just a bunch of Japanese girls and they were singing that song. And I don't mean anything to Japanese girls, but like... It's just...
You would start cringing.
I started cringing. If Babymetal were the same size as the US Navy and they started singing that song, going... I couldn't do it.
There is 2 songs on here which you can call Black Babymetal. So basically on both albums, actually, there's 2 songs only Stu Metal sings on. And there's also 2 songs...
Is this the song you were saying that sounded like grindcore?
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah, Sis Anger.
It's not... Was it Sis Anger? That's not grindcore to me. That's probably more Slipknot, like early Slipknot. Like
okay.
That backing music to it was like early Slipknot, in my opinion.
Okay. But I thought that's probably my other favourite. One of my other favourites, Sis Anger. But yeah, there's... On both albums, there's also Black Babymetal, which is basically when U Metal and Moa Metal, the 2 backup singers, actually did the song without Stu Metal. So that's...
Yeah.
GJ, that's hard to say, GJ and Sis Anger. So yeah, Sis Anger I really like because, I guess you could say it sounds like Slipknot. It's nice and noisy.
In my opinion, the vocals really lacked on it.
Mm.
And it was the last sort of 3 songs I was just like, finish already. I think it was, No Rain, No Rainbow, I couldn't stand.
What's a ballad? You're not a fan of ballads?
Not really, no. Mate, I listen to extreme metal. Do you think I don't like ballads? I listen to black metal so much I'm interviewing Death Heaven tomorrow, but anyway.
Black metal / pop.
Yeah. Yeah, Tales of Destiny and the last...
The Dream Theater song.
Yeah, the last song, it was too much. It should have ended at... It's 6.5 minutes long. It should have finished about halfway through. It's 3.5 minutes too long, in my opinion.
There's a good if you go on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, you can see the live music video for that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, they've got cool music videos to begin with, anyway.
Yeah, the Road to Resistance one is good because it has like at the whoa, like the whole crowd singing.
Yeah,
that's really cool. They need to come to Australia. I will go see them. If you see some of the footage from their concerts, it looks unreal.
Yeah, I think they played England lately.
Yeah, like 2 times. They've been to America and Europe like a couple of times. How come they gone to Mexico and those kinds of places, but not Australia? What is this?
Yeah, well, maybe since Soundwave bit the dust, no one wants to come out here.
AJ tried twice to get to Soundwave.
Yeah, but they had school exams at the same time.
That was not what was supposed to be this year's Soundwave, last year.
Yeah. That's
true, but then you know how the date was changed for this year?
Yeah.
So they tried... That was the reason why he didn't say the lineup, because he tried to get Babymetal, and then when they said, no, we can't do it was like, okay, here's the lineup.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but basically it's the last 3 songs on here that just need to bugger off, in my opinion. And then if it was 9 songs, it would... For me, overall, I think it's a 7 out of 10 album. There's definitely good songs on here. It's not average, but it's not a super solid effort, in my opinion. Yeah, there's some really good songs on here. Like Kawari, Amadama Fever, if they just... and you can get rid of Amore out of there as well. Oh, Mentitaro, sorry. You can get that out of there as well. And, yeah, so it should be like an 8-song album. That's how I would cut it down.
Reviews have been very positive. I think I'm going to have to listen to it a few more times.
Yeah, me too. But, like, overall, it's a 7 out of 10 album for me.
From my perspective, I think it's almost as good as the first one, but maybe just not cutting it.
So, rating out of 10, what would you give it?
I would say maybe an 8 or a 9.
8 to a 9.
Yeah,
so 8.5.
I think if I listen to it more, because I listened to the first album so much. So, yeah. Dude, I think you should. I think you'll actually like the first one better. One of the opening song is called Babymetal Death, which is it's just like a bunch of heavy riffs, man. Like the members barely even singing it. It's just a bunch of riffs and solos. It's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, but I just As if you've listened to the Moshpit before, when we go live on air in 90.7, I'm not the biggest fan of power metal. Let's just put it
that's
that
true.
way. I'm sure the guys in Dragon Force are really cool, but I'm not a big fan of them either. And I really couldn't stand the power metal in this album. I think with the karate, that sort of, I wouldn't say new metal, but that sort of just that bouncy sort of metal.
I know what you mean.
They need to do that more, and probably more of that electro stuff, and just kick the power metal stuff out. I just need to get that heaviness going, and then have the Japanese vocals over the top, and then go into this like J-pop chorus with J-pop or J-rock chorus. I think that would be really cool.
So, Dean, do you want more English in the songs, or would you rather have more Japanese? Or you don't care?
I think them being Japanese is what makes them unique, and I don't think that if a band from a country feels pressure to sing English, I don't think they should do it. I actually think it would be great if one of the biggest metal bands in the world sung in a different language, aka Rammstein.
That's right.
I don't want to hear a Rammstein song in English.
Yeah.
I want to hear it in German.
Du hast.
And just hear all of these crazy words and stuff from a language that just really captures the imagination.
Well, they do English and Russian as well, don't they? I think so. Rammstein.
Yeah, but they've done single edits. Like, they did do Hast in English, and it was a bit average, in my opinion. And I think Till knows a bit of Russian. Till Eiderman, the lead singer. I think he knows a bit of Russian, but... Yeah, like, I mean, you know, like, that's... Why are Rammstein popular? It's because they are just German
just a great band.
fuck. German as fuck, you know. Everyone, when they go sit, they just go, Du hast mich. Like, everyone just does their best to impersonate him, you know?
Yeah.
And you just go, ugh. And I think that's the same with Babymetal. Like, when you hear karate, I just can't help but go, I can't sing Japanese, but you know what I mean. Like, and I think that's the best part about them. And when I heard them singing English, I was just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, you can kind of obviously you can tell.
I don't think it suits them. I think it's truly unique because it's J-pop. Why would you get a Japanese girl singing sort of semi-broken English over, you know, a metal band? Like, any person with any slight vocal talent can do that if they speak English.
Yeah, I mean,
this is Japanese, and it's the J-pop with Japanese language mirrored with metal. It's sort of a wacky East meets West sort of thing, isn't it?
Yes, and
that's the best part about it. It's two cultures colliding. Even though Japan is very Western in itself, it's still a different kind of Western. It's East Western, if you know what I mean.
Japanese is it's funny that they have the English version of the one, because Japanese culture is sometimes referred to as just one, as in one language, one people, one culture. They have their own little world. Because okay, here's the thing about, say, French metal bands. There aren't that. I mean, from France, yes, but singing in French.
Yeah, there's not that many.
Yeah,
there's not that many. Like Gojira, they have album titles, song titles in French. The lyrics are mostly English. As a fact, 99% of the lyrics are English. I believe I've heard some French in there sometimes, but I'm not sure.
There are several reasons for this. So I spoke to the band Novelists. They're a French band. I asked him, and he's like, oh, you can listen to. That's a podcast that you can look on our YouTube channel.
Yes, it should be up soon.
No, it's already up, but it's probably not on Omni yet. But he said that, he said the scene is not big enough in France for it to be a big thing. Only French people, maybe people from Belgium or Switzerland would listen to it. So all these, and not just that, Persona, the Tunisian band, I asked him, are you going to do it like a song in French? And like, no. I'm like, why not? Because she's like, she thinks that French, like, it's a good language to speak, but in terms of writing for metal, sounds a bit cheesy, she says.
Yeah. However, there's a Alsace from the south of France, or Alceste as they're called by people who don't know their French.
And there's also F's, that band we were talking about before.
Their last album, Opaque, or what was it called? Basically, it's the album that came out in 2014. It was great. I mean, it was like a dream pop post-rock album, but all of the lyrics were in French. And it sounded fantastic.
Yeah.
And they used to be a black metal band as well, and some of that sort of stuff they did sounds good as well. But, yeah, I mean, it really depends on the music.
Do you think that because, not just Japanese music, because of Babymetal's success, but also for bands in other languages, they could get big now that, they've shown that, just because you're in a different language doesn't mean you can get big.
Who's the Finnish band that won Eurovision? Not Fintroll, bloody Korkaplonki or whatever they're called.
Dude, I know which one you're talking about, but I can't name it.
Korkaplani or whatever. I don't know if they sing in Finnish, but they won it. And if a country like that can win something like Eurovision, then Babymetal are already over. I don't mean to sound like a wrestling promoter, but they're already over with a lot of people here.
Exactly.
They're babyface at the moment. Babyface meaning, they're the popular ones. They're the new kids on the block. And eventually they're going to start, making a lot of money.
They're probably peaking now because 2015 was probably their biggest year, and now they have a new album out. Yeah. They're probably peaking now.
Who knows? I mean, some people think that, okay, look, they've had their success, they'll fade away from here on out. But, yeah, I actually think that's an interesting theory to take. Do you think that they can essentially... Because like you said, I mean, the first album and the second album aren't really that different.
Yep.
Do you think they could change it up? Maybe do what I say, take the power metal out, take the ballads out, have more of that bouncy sort of electro stuff,
want
and just have an album of that.
More metal and a bit more electro. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. And maybe
so a bit more new metal.
Not bouncy sort of stuff, yeah. Like Argenti or whatever, like Hacktivist or... hell, even... Limp... Yeah. Maybe. That's how I felt. Just basically karate, that sort of style that karate's in.
I just think as long as it's good. I mean, they don't really have a formula because when you listen to both albums, songs are quite different. So they could pretty much do anything they want as long as it's got metal, as long as it's got some pop vocals, as long as it's heavy, it's got guitars. They could pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah,
they haven't really written themselves into a corner.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've kind of invented their own thing. So maybe do you think that other bands will come along and fuse different styles with Japanese pop in the future? I mean, there's stacks of them out there already. I think you must know a couple. Do you know any other bands are doing similar sort of stuff like that?
There was a Korean band that's similar, and people were saying that they were a rip-off, and I'm just like, come on, like, don't be stupid with your rip-off thing. I mean, bands rip each other off all the time. They're not that similar. There's also, like, a bunch of Japanese... Remember that Bandmade band? Yeah,
they just did made outfits and played.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird bands like that. They're probably just like looking to get big. They just gotta release like good music and get some good marketing on their side. I guess maybe Babymetal just had good timing. Yeah,
good timing for the future. I mean, if they keep just releasing the same stuff, I think people will just be like, yeah, whatever. We've heard this before. But is this the next big subgenre of metal? J-pop metal.
I feel like Babymetal is just going to be unique. I don't think other bands are going to follow.
You don't think? You think bands are going to be nervous to do something like that?
Well, I mean, from Japan, dude, it's possible, but I don't think so. I mean, you can't. Babymetal is so unique that you can't really just copy them and get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can.
I'm trying to think of other bands that are really unique that you can't really copy. Like you can't really copy Tool without being labelled. Oh yeah, you just sound like Tool.
Yeah.
You just can't sort of sing like Maynard, James Keenan.
But you can sound like a 70s or 80s rock band because people love those. So
yeah, but then
there's too many of them.
In my opinion, I just hear them and I'm like, you're a freaking AC/DC cover.
Totally.
Whereas like, a decent modern day hard rock band like Clutch is what modern day bands should be aspiring to be instead of just ripping off AC/DC.
I feel like
paying attention to them and other great artists.
If other bands just stay, I guess, you just got to take a risk. I mean, Babymetal is, I'd say, as far as, a huge risk. I sincerely doubt that Babymetal, who put the band together, expected the band to get this big.
Outside of Japan, I might add as well.
Especially.
I mean, they've been on the cover of Metal Hammer UK twice.
Yeah, and they've won like international band on, I think it was the Golden Gods.
Yeah, I think they've won a couple of Golden God awards. I'm not sure. We could be wrong, but I mean, it won't surprise us if they win any in the future as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you listen to the first album as well, the quality of the songs on there, I mean, even if maybe you don't like the style, you can say all the songs are quality. Dude, I think it's rightly deserved. It's completely original. Okay, what do you think of the idea that, they're not real because they're manufactured? I mean, apparently the girls didn't even know what metal was when they started.
Yeah, this is a point that's been discussed by a lot of people. Is this the first ever manufactured metal pop band in history? And in my opinion, yes, they have been put together. But I mean, I haven't heard any interviews from them, but I believe you've seen interviews of them. Do the three girls actually like metal music now?
Now they do.
Yeah, see, exactly. See, now they like metal music. They're more invested in it. And that sort of mystique that they were kind of just brought into to be some sort of side piece is now gone. Because they like metal and they understand it a bit more, hopefully, if that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, Yui Metal was being interviewed, and she said her two favourite artists, Ariana Grande and Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse. Well, there you go.
Those two went side by side.
Well, there you go.
Jeez, that's how we can get rich, man. We can get put these two or three people together and mix Ariana Grande with Cannibal Corpse, then we'll get rich.
Who
knows?
Idea, Dan. Anyway, so that's the podcast here. Nearly 30 minutes long. That was good for a first attempt, don't you reckon?
Not bad, yeah.
Not bad. This is only a prototype. We might add. There will be. I reference this podcast all the time. You have to go and listen to it. That's Not Metal podcast. We will be similar to them, but won't rip them off. So we'll talk about album reviews. We'll go more in depth with the news.
What are they like? I've never listened to them, so can you?
So basically, for those people, particularly English people who are fans of metal, there was a podcast back in sort of the early 2010s, earlier this decade, sort of 4 or 5 years ago, called the Metal Hammer podcast. That was quite popular, and and basically two of the former presenters of that show, after that podcast split up, have started a new one called That's Not Metal. They're fully fan-run, not fan-run, they're fully DIY, so they rely on fans to give them subscriptions. And if you subscribe to them for the year, you can listen to over 80 hours or some ridiculous amount of hours of specials, and they've done podcasts with guests from bands like Bury Tomorrow, and I think they've have a Pantera special. They didn't have Pantera on the show, but they talked about Pantera for like over 3 2-hour podcasts, and they're two really knowledgeable guys who know their shit, and I love them for it. And they have fun intros, then they get into the news, then they go into some album reviews, and they have something called an album club, where they go back and they look at an album from years past and they discuss it. And you seriously get more knowledgeable about metal every time you listen to them, because when they talk about new albums and they talk about other sort of things, you get their story, because they're like 30 odd years old, 30, 35 or whatever, and they've been around for a long time. They grew up in the 90s, and they just know a lot about metal, and they're really knowledgeable, and I highly recommend you listen to them, because you'll know more about metal. As the same as you listen to this podcast. This should be up on iTunes soon. Stefan, any last words?
Actually, since we're talking about podcasts, I was telling you the other day about Distortion by Higo.
Higo, yeah, that's
a Triple M music host, and he interviews a band every other week or so. He's got a Patreon for it as well. Yeah, and he, for some reason, even though they post online, he must have like bought the online rights to use the song. So when you listen to it, you can actually hear the music of the bands, which is cool.
Sounds good.
If only we could figure that out.
Yeah. Maximum Rock and Roll Podcast. That's basically just a radio show on a podcast, and that's all sorts of really cool DIY punk music. What else? Metal Sucks Podcast. Wrestling podcasts actually are really cool.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin has his own podcast. Chris Jericho has his own podcast.
Oh, yeah. Good old Fozzy.
Chris Jericho from Fozzy, yeah. I think he's got one with Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. And at the start of that podcast, they talked to Steve Harris' son and the guitar player from his band that are on tour with them at the moment. And, Steve Austin, lots of great wrestling stories. Chris Jericho has wrestling/music/other stuff. Colt Cabana podcast, that's purely a wrestling podcast. If you're into your wrestling, that's really cool. And yeah.
I guess to finish up, since we're talking about stuff we love, the website Loudwire, they have a lot of good stuff as well. They have
metalsucks.net podcast, that's good as well.
But yeah, the Loudwire has Wikipedia Fact or Fiction. That's a segment.
Just really cool.
I really like it.
Gru Hamid, cool dude.
Oh yeah, when you watch these older interviews, it's super awkward, man. Okay, well, we'll finish up. Oh, by the way, there is a Babymetal Fact or Wikipedia Fact or Fiction on Loudwire, so you can check that out.
I think we'll post that up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, good idea. So
anyway, thank you for listening to the Cutting Room Floor.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That's what we're going with, Cutting Room Floor.
Yeah, that sounds better.
All right,
no, that's from that's metal. No, that's not metal podcast. Cutting room floor. Spare parts.
I don't know about that.
Scrap metal podcast.
We'll have to talk about it.
We'll have
air,
the name
backstage
sooner or later. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsin and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsin. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Sin 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Sin 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tommaso from Flashgun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heavenly Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Olney of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Zebrahead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Sin.